A young man who couldn't become an artist ended up causing the death of millions. What did they teach us in history classes? A dictator, a man responsible for the deaths of millions. But there's something they never told you. You never really knew Hitler. Have you ever heard the bizarre secrets behind the man darker than his shadow? If you're ready, I'm about to reveal 10 strange secrets you've never heard anywhere before, and they might just change the way you see history. And one final fact at the end might change how you see life itself. Fact 1, he always carried a photo in his pocket, but whose was it? Historians studying Hitler's personal belongings discovered that for many years, he kept a single photograph in his pocket. That photo was never officially revealed. Some sources claim it was of his first, and perhaps only, love, Stephanie Isak. Here's the twist. Stephanie was Jewish, and yet Hitler would go on to unleash brutal, genocidal policies against Jews. This contradiction still fuels debates among historians today. Another theory suggests the photo was of his mother, the woman he adored. Her death left him emotionally shattered, but the real question is, why was the identity behind that photo never disclosed? Maybe it was one of his darkest secrets. Fact 2, he changed his mustache because of a gas mask. Hitler's iconic toothbrush mustache, that small square patch under his nose, wasn't a style choice. During World War I, German soldiers were required to wear gas masks. Back then, most men had long, traditional mustaches, but those mustaches got in the way of the mask. So Hitler trimmed his mustache to fit. What began as a necessity became a symbol. The world came to recognize him by that strange mustache. But very few know that this infamous look was born not from style, but from war. Fact 3, he visited Paris, but never climbed the Eiffel Tower. In 1940, after Germany invaded France, Hitler visited Paris for the first time. It was a historical moment. The Eiffel Tower, the heart of Paris, was under occupation. But something bizarre happened. Hitler wanted to ascend the Eiffel Tower, but the elevator suddenly stopped working. The truth? Members of the French resistance had deliberately sabotaged the lift's motor. Hitler refused to climb the stairs and left the tower in frustration. Some say this was a symbolic victory. The Eiffel Tower had rejected Hitler. Even today, people whisper, Paris stood tall, even when the world bowed. Fact 4, his wristwatch sold for $1 million in 2022. In 2022, a very unusual item went up for auction. Adolf Hitler's personal wristwatch was sold in America for $1.1 million. The watch was engraved with his initials, a H, a swastika, and a date. But what truly sparked mystery was this. The identity of the buyer was never revealed. No public display, no interviews, no explanation. To this day, no one knows who owns it or why they bought it. Was it just a piece of history? Or does the watch carry a hidden message, a secret no one has yet uncovered? This object, left behind in the dusty shadows of history, still holds its silence. And perhaps that silence will never be broken. Fact 5. Hitler's speeches weren't just words. They were psychological weapons. It wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. Before stepping onto a stage, Hitler practiced obsessively in front of mirrors. He rehearsed every gesture, every pause, every rise and fall in his voice, all designed to create a hypnotic effect on the crowd. His speeches had rhythm, dramatic pauses, explosive crescendos, everything crafted to manipulate human emotion. Even today, psychologists study his speeches and conclude, he didn't just speak to a nation, he hypnotized it. Fact 6. He took 28 different medicines daily. In the last years of his life, Adolf Hitler was waging a merciless struggle, not only against the world, but also against his own body and mind. During the day, he took more than 20 different medicines. For insomnia, for constant pains, for stomach spasms, for anxiety and mental instability. His personal doctor, Dr. Theodore Morell, was giving him suspicious injections every day. The composition of these injections remained in the dark. Some historians claim that these substances included maybe morphine-like substances. Others think that these medicines were experimental substances that further worsened his mental state. In videos related to Hitler's last years, it is possible to see him with trembling hands and feet, slowed speech, and often detached from reality. Once the orator who stirred nations to their feet now had turned into a shadow kept standing by medicines. Was it a disease, an addiction, or going insane? Maybe that dark personality that stamped history was formed inside a bottle of medicine? Fact 7. He was afraid of women. But why? Hitler's relationship with women was complex and full of contradictions. He craved their admiration. It fed his ego and power. Thousands of women sent him letters, love confessions, even promises to die for him. But Hitler kept them all at a distance. He had a longtime lover, Eva Braun, yet kept her hidden from the public eye for years. She existed in the shadows, never officially acknowledged. It's as if he was protecting something fragile inside himself. Perhaps that emotional distance was the last wall he built to keep his own vulnerability hidden. Fact 8. The dream of being an artist, the fury of a rejected soul. With a heart full of dreams and a paintbrush in hand, he knocked on the doors of the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. He wanted to be a painter, that was all. But the answer was short and cold. Your work isn't good enough, you're rejected. That moment, it wasn't just a rejection. It was the closing of a door that might have changed the fate of the entire world. What if they had known who this young man would become? Would they have accepted him? What if he had become an artist? Would millions have lived? Would war have been avoided? Sometimes the death of a single dream can become the nightmare of the whole world. A young man who couldn't become an artist became the reason millions died. Fact 9. He didn't want to protect his body. He wanted to protect his corpse. Hitler was obsessively afraid of what might happen to his body after death. He had seen images of Mussolini's corpse being dragged and humiliated after execution. From that moment on, Hitler made a decision. He ordered that his body be burned immediately after his death. He even had the gasoline prepared in advance. In the final days of the war, he repeatedly told his close circle, "I won't end up like Mussolini." This fact reveals just how paranoid and control-obsessed he was. Even after death, he was still afraid of people. Fact 10. The brain autopsy. His brain was taken to the USSR and studied. For years, a dark mystery surrounded Hitler's death. According to secret claims, Hitler's brain was removed by Soviet forces and transported to Moscow. It was studied for years behind closed doors. Former KGB agents later revealed chilling findings. Signs of Parkinson's disease were detected, which may explain his trembling hands. And more disturbingly, strange neurological patterns were found. Patterns that resembled the brain of a psychopath. Modern neurologists say, if we had today's technology back then, Hitler's brain would be a textbook example of severe psychological disorders. Sometimes the darkness within a single human can reshape the fate of the entire world. History doesn't stay silent. It simply waits for the right eyes to see it. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more dark and mysterious histories. See you next time.